Welcome back, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, beautiful ladies. I'm happy to have you again for another topic, and I am excited um, to actually know, especially that you have a foreigner partner. So most of my audience are expats or foreigners that are living and settling here in the Philippines. So this will be a very big or a very good tip for them, especially for those who are not yet, who are still coming here, and they wanted to, like, they're curious about the culture of Filipinas, and especially getting to date or getting to know a Filipina. So there is one thing that is like when I go to an expat group and I've seen like someone is gonna ask like about, oh, is it true that when you're going to have a Filipina partner, you're also gonna marry the family? And there's like a lot of my gosh, a lot of different opinions and negativities around it. So I would like to maybe shed light about it or maybe educate the people in my channel about it because it's really, really common. And so, yeah, I would like to know your idea or your opinion about this matter. Where is it obligatory? Is it a must for the foreigner partner to support the family of the Filipino girlfriend or the partner? And when I say support, what comes to mind? Maybe financially, emotionally, you can cover anything that comes up to mind. All right, so let's start with you. Hot seat.
Okay. So for me, I think in our culture, we are taught to support our family, especially if you're the eldest child. You are like the breadwinner because you're the first one who have finished school. So you're gonna be the one working and supporting your siblings who are going to college and your parents also helping them financially. But I think it's a misconception that you need to support your Filipinas family. I don't think you are required to support them. I think if you met someone that is a breadwinner who's the one supporting the family, maybe you should help because she is the breadwinner, right? So yeah, I think depends on what depends on the Filipina that you meet.
All right, so yes, I agree with Maya in Filipino culture. I think I said this earlier in whoever's video was that. that yeah, so generally Filipinos or Filipino children are seen as or there is that financial expectation or culture expectation from our parents to support them. And I think that your question, if it's a must,
Yeah, is it a must? Is it obligatory for the foreigner to support also the family of the Filipina girlfriend?
I think any support coming from the Filipinas partner must be coming from his genuine willingness
I love that.
rather than obligation. If he wants to financially support the family, her family, it must come from his genuine willingness and not coming from, you know, pressure, not coming from pressure and expectation from the Filipina or from her family. I think that a Filipina and a foreigner's relationship, or a strong and healthy Filipina and foreigner relationship, it must require a autonomy and a mutual agreement when it comes to financial expectations. So
Love it.
as a foreigner, if you are not willing to pay for your family, or if you don't want to be passed on that financial burden, you have to again set boundaries or set up expectations to your partner and say, hey, I can only support you. You are my partner, you are my wife, and and if you have kids, I can only support you and your kids. Other than that, I'm not willing, even if I have money, I'm not willing to support outside this. And if that is not okay for her, then she must find ways to support her family, right? Maybe she can work if it's okay for the partner. But again, I would always say that it is not a must to support your Filipinas family if only you are willing to. Because again, it is going to put a friction in the relationship when you're giving money to her family and it's not out of your willingness.
Exactly. I love that. And I couldn't agree more to what they just said. I would like to touch on a different support, like the emotional support. Because
Yes.
it's very common in the Filipino, this close family ties, this family oriented thing.
Yeah.
That maybe it's not just about financial, it's also the
Right.
emotional burden. Like, hey, your brother is having this issue with the wife and this and that. You have a group chat and you have to be involved. If you don't pay attention, it's like you're insensitive with your parents, with your relative, with your brother's problem. And that could be a common thing. And because of that, because I used to be in that situation, it's not necessarily financial, but problem of my siblings, problem of my brother, it creates a lot of stress in me. So when I'm dealing with my partner, like he has to help me solve it in some way. And I realize I have to set boundaries,
Right.
even with that. Not just boundaries in whether or not I can help or support, but also boundaries when what are the problems that I would entertain in my life.
Right.
Like if you're coming here for just the drama and for me to just go on the drama with you, that's not cool with me because it's draining my energy. So setting boundaries as well and help your, Filipina partner to realize that, because I didn't realize that up until, Eli have to mention it to me. Is it really your problem? Do you really have to worry about that?
Yeah.
What can you actually do? Like, oh yeah, there's nothing I can do. It's their problem. And even if I would give advice, they will not listen. So therefore, don't worry about it. Don't think about it. Because it's, it's built in our DNA and our culture. We just have to be reminded of that. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yes, you need to add
I would
something.
like to add with
Yeah,
what
sure.
Maya said, being the eldest, because I think in our country, or maybe it also applies to other countries, but the eldest is normally the third parent. We always have to nurture our siblings, our younger
Exactly.
siblings, and we also have to act as mothers and fathers to our younger siblings. So sometimes, I don't know, maybe I sometimes feel like financially, I never have a problem with my parents. But when I was growing up, I felt like it was a curse being an eldest because everything was on me. Like, I have to cook, I have to do this, I have to take care of my younger siblings and this and this and that. And then
Exactly.
if they are sick, if my mom sees a scratch on them, it's my fault.
Can totally relate to that. Super. I'm also eldest. Are we all eldest here? Youngest. You too.
I have the same experience.
You want to add something?
Yeah, I can relate to you being the eldest in my family. I was always the one that is thinking of food. My parents
Yeah.
would hand me money and I would be the one
Wow.
going to the market and I have to cook. Like I'm the parent.
Wow.
Yeah.
And were you also like in a part of your life, were you able to also like give financial support to your family? This goes out to all of you.
Financially, no. Only if I think it's because they are shy to ask me. I'm not obligated to help them.
That's good.
Only if they really need it, like someone is in the hospital, but monthly expenses, no, they don't. Like Shay's experience with her mother, that if there's a 20 people that she could borrow, Shay would be the last. It's the same thing to me. So
Okay.
I'm not really obligated, but I like helping, especially my younger sister. Yeah. So that's my focus.
Okay.
I think it is very liberating when you're actually able to help your parents without them asking anything from you.
Yes.
And I always get emotional when I talk about my parents because, like, I want to give the world to them, but I couldn't. But I always say this: I'm one of the lucky Filipinos wherein my parents don't really take advantage of me. They know I'm with a foreigner, and they see me as a single mom. I have two children. I have bills to pay. Therefore, even if they are struggling, they don't ask anything from me. And to answer your question, I try my hardest to actually give something. Like I said, my parents have never asked me, but I try to like buy 50 kilos of rice for this month, or I try.
Comes from your heart.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So nice.
And I try to buy my dad's eye medicine or something. But this time, because my eldest daughter is already 19, and I had rented our grandparents' house. So right now, I'm kind of like paying everything. So it is kind of like difficult because my daughter is renting in my grandparents' house, and my mom actually stays there. My dad stays at our house, but it's close to my daughter's house, and then my brother is in there. So I'm in a situation where I just really want to pay for my daughter, but there are other people in there. But I don't want to be somebody and be bitter about, like, I just want to feed my kid, but I want to feed everybody too. So it's out of my willingness. So I'm paying for the rent, I'm paying for the water, electric, Wi-Fi, and everything. So I'm not rich. I'm working my ass off. Right now, I have to pay 2 bills, actually, both houses, right? But it's my genuine willingness to also help my parents in a way that when I do grocery shopping, even just for one person, I have to buy for everybody. But I don't want to. This is one thing that I can say about my parents. Like, they have never taken advantage of me. They always, like, is that an English term, chip in? Like, yeah. Street language. Yeah, they would always share, even if they only have, like, okay, if their income is 500 pesos and they have other bills to pay, they would spend that 500 pesos just to share something in the house. So that's, I am lucky
That's so
to have my
nice.
parents, although we're not very close. And again, I wish I can do more for them. But for now, with my situation, I really have to prioritize my children.
Right. You'll be blessed more and you can do more.
That's good. I think for me, at some point, I felt the obligation.
Yeah.
I felt the obligation of, because I'm dating a foreigner, and they were inviting my siblings were inviting me for a birthday party,
Okay.
and they were like, "Oh, you have a foreigner, you bring lechon."
Whoops.
And me, who's like, yeah, I know the culture and I don't want to embarrass. It was a guy that I used to date way back before Eli, and he's young, he's just backpacking. He doesn't really have the budget, but because I thought I was protecting him, I borrow money to buy lechon and was telling that, oh, it's from him.
Oh my
But
gosh.
I learned my lesson. Now that I did that, they're gonna ask more. Like, oh, every occasion, kasal, wedding, and whatever, oh, Gladys is the one who's gonna buy lechon.
The lechon girl.
And so I actually have to communicate it. Sometimes there's no ill intention.
Right.
Yeah, they're just asking it in a nice way. Mostly the obligation is from us because we think that's already the norm. But if we actually communicate it to our parents or siblings, they would understand. And mostly the ones who would really pick on it are the relatives, the aunties, uncles,
Yeah.
the neighbors. The neighbors would
Yeah.
actually judge us. Then again, you know, you just have to set your boundaries and communicate about it.
Yeah. Lechon girl. Yeah, that was really nice. Thank you for sharing your experiences.
Yeah.
And I also would like to invite you to that video where we talk more about that one, where you really dig into that one. And I also shared my vulnerability there because I was the eldest, but I'm not going to share it here. But just to sum up also in my experience before that, I was the eldest and I felt the obligation to support my family until one day I communicated that, hey, I have a life. I needed to also do something for me. And then actually I was surprised that they're okay about it. Like, and it was just me who was like, why didn't I do it before? So yeah, it all boils down to communication. And I would like to ask about your foreigner partners, like recently now, like in the present moment. How is it with your family, with your foreigner partner and your family? Like, is he trying to support them emotionally or financially, or is that something that you have to like really say a no to? What is it?
I just want to add about the supporting part. I remember when I graduated college and I had a job, I was willing to help my parents financially. I did not say that I am going to help them, but it is expected, you know. But sometimes our parents, at least my parents, in my experience, they will take advantage on you, and they now that they know that you are earning, so they will constantly ask for financial support, like there's gonna be a problem popping up. And I think it was draining for me. I like to help because I want them to feel proud of me, you know. But I think that's the point of helping your parents. You want to be validated by your parents. You want to feel that they are proud of you. For me, that is my reason of wanting to help them. But it came to the point that there's always problem from another and another. So, and it's draining for me. And we talk about losing ourselves in Gladys channel. And I think my biggest losing part for me, myself, is my family. Like I really get affected. So for me not to lose myself, I need to put boundary. If it means blocking them or limiting going to my parents' house. So yeah, now they can only communicate with me if I allow it, because that's my way of protecting myself and my emotion and my feelings. So yeah, with your question about my partner, if he is obligated to help, no. I never asked him to help, even with my daughter. I think this is something that is something that I learned growing up, never relying on anybody.